What is up, A team? Welcome back. Awesome here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day, or not, depending on where, but hope it is awesome. And yes, we're back at today to talk more about some crypto. Yesterday, which was Friday, April 4th, was a pretty bad day in the markets. As you guys know, the stock market took a massive dip with the whole tariff discussion. Obviously, China fighting back with that, the retaliatory tariffs and everything that was sort of thrown in there. But this cryptocurrency market seemed to do well. People are asking, like, what should we expect? Should we expect the Bitcoin to depeg from the market, or should we continue to see Bitcoin run with the S&P 500 and all the other markets that are out there? And as you guys can see right now, which again, this is just take it for what it is. But one nice thing about it is that Bitcoin did do well yesterday. Bitcoin continued to rally, even though the markets were down. You can see yesterday we actually fell over 2,200 points from the Dow. S&P 500 lost over 10% in 2 days. As you guys know, this was really, really crazy to sort of see. And a lot of people were like, hey, have we hit bottom? Are we going to continue to fall? We're going to see like another downside to this. Like, what is going on? And so a lot of people are sort of frantic out there. A lot of people are worried. I mean, you have tons of analysts out there. You got Jim Cramer coming out saying that we're going to see a massive recession like back in 1987. So if Jim Cramer is out here telling you this, that means that we're probably going to do well. Just kidding. I honestly don't know. But one thing I can say for sure, and I tell everyone to do this, please just go do your own research and listen to both sides from people explaining the tariffs that are pro-tariff and people that are against the tariffs. They make good arguments on both sides. And so I just highly advise everyone to just like go educate themselves on understanding and hearing both sides of the story here. I honestly, after hearing both sides, I could see like people that are against tariffs and thinking that this is like the worst decision in the world. I could see how they make some good points. But then on the other side, I can see them talking about some, why tariffs are important and why we should get trade, make America at an even playing field for a lot of people here to compete with the global scale. And so I could see all that. But what it comes down to here is that the markets are actually really hurting here. Like I was saying yesterday, is that Bitcoin actually did really well. Cryptocurrency and all did phenomenal. I mean, XRP is still it's still the strongest chart out there. You cannot argue against this. It's still sitting here around 212 at the time of this filming. Bitcoin sitting around 82,600 at the time of this filming. You can see they're down just slightly over the last 24 hours. Nothing crazy. We didn't see a massive, $10 trillion leaving or, billions of dollars leaving the cryptocurrency market. It just didn't happen. And so, yeah, we might be down just slightly today. You can see right here, my other one, Hedera, is down just slightly again today. But overall, the cryptocurrency market kind of depegged from the overall market itself. And a lot of us were wanting that to happen. And this is the biggest talk right here, is that Bitcoin holds firm as stocks lose 5 trillion in record sell-offs. And again, 5 trillion was just in one day. And people were waiting for this. I think a lot of us have waited for Bitcoin to sort of, depeg from the cryptocurrency market. And, like it says right here, Bitcoin's resilience to the record 5 trillion sell-off signals an evolution in the Bitcoin market, positioning that may fortify Bitcoin's status now. This could be the hedge that we're all hoping for, that we've been hoping for. I mean, the story's been out there that this is the hedge against inflation. This is the hedge against the dollar. This is the hedge against gold. Basically, Bitcoin is the digital gold. And is this the time? Maybe it is. And as you guys can see, Bitcoin is gaining a lot of attention. I mean, obviously, we've been doing it for a long time here, but now we're starting to see this actually play into the markets. And I haven't been this excited because of that for quite some time. But I want to put some reservations out there because, again, as much as we're seeing this kind of depeg, it usually will fall back in line with the markets themselves. And so I think that we are hopefully at a bottom. I hope that this massive sell-off that we've seen is at the bottom, because we are, I mean, the Magnificent Seven or the Nine or whatever, the biggest companies that are out there, they've lost trillions and trillions of dollars. I mean, we're talking the richest people out there have lost so much money over the last couple of days. And these are the people that I'm pretty sure are not that happy to see. But one of the greatest things here is Michael Saylor says right here, there is no tariffs on Bitcoin. And he's true. There's no tariffs on Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is kind of like the place to go store value. And again, he's not the only one saying this. If you haven't seen, there's an interview right here with Scott Bessent. He's the Treasury Secretary. He had an interview with Tucker Carlson. I advise you to go over to Tucker Carlson and watch this. It's actually a pretty good video. They talk about tariffs. They talk about everything here. But the biggest takeaway from this is that he said, because again, gold is rising in price right now. Gold is sort of like everyone's holding in value because across all countries, China, switch any country you name, they still are allowed to buy gold and things like that. And he talks about how basically Bitcoin is the digital gold. And he compares Bitcoin to gold in this interview here. This is a really, really good interview to go watch if you wanted to learn about the tariffs and Trump's thinking of the tariffs, and then also where we're at with Bitcoin. I think this actually helped Bitcoin sort of do what it did today. So this is kind of crazy to sort of see this, but I mean, this is kind of the direction we're going. Honestly, this is the direction we're going right now when it comes to where Bitcoin's at. So I'm more positive now going into this next cycle of Bitcoin, knowing that I think people are starting to realize the power of Bitcoin. And again, you could be totally against Bitcoin. You could say, you know what, Bitcoin sucks. It's the worst thing in the world, worst invention. There's other things out there. I get all that. But on a global scale, Bitcoin still is the granddaddy of them all. And I think a lot of us know that. Also right here, this is what I said earlier here. Jim Cramer predicts that the market crash similar to the 1987 collapse known as Black Monday. As you guys know, there's obviously a joke out there, a running joke, that anytime whatever Jim Cramer says, we do the complete opposite. And it's actually kind of true. Over the last probably 4 years, anything Jim Cramer said or did in this markets, we've done the complete opposite. So take it for what it is here. This is actually probably bullish if you want to think about it, because anything he says, we do the opposite. So if he's saying that we're going to crash, we're probably going to rally. And again, anytime an analyst is out there on a major, because again, this guy's bought and paid for by the large corporations out here to tell you to buy their stocks. He's just a paid shill like anyone else. And barely what he's saying is that, hey, we're going to crash here because they want people to sell. They want people to get out of the positions that they're in so that their companies can come in and swoop in. This is where it gets super important. I hope everyone listens to me on this. And I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger here because I think it's important that everyone understands what we're getting into here. And the biggest thing here is that we're going in for what I have always told you guys about, is that we're going to move forward with the tax cuts. These tax cuts are probably going to be some of the biggest things that our economy is going to get. And if you go back to 2016, when this actually happened, when Trump came into office, these tax cuts were giant for our economy. And again, you think that companies want to come in and buy up their stock because we're going to get a tax holiday here. Companies are going to be able to come over and they're going to be able to buy their stocks here and buy up a lot of it. You think they want to buy at the top of their stock market? You want to buy at the top of the stock market? No, they don't. They don't want to buy their stocks at that price. So what do you think happens here? The goal is to bring the market down, right? Now give a tax holiday to corporations and rich people and poor people like us. But majority of the people that are going to prosper from this the most are probably the companies like they did in 2016 and the rich people. They're going to come back in and they're going to buy up a lot of the stock market like we saw in 2016, 2017. This is exactly the same game plan that he had in 2016 and 17. So for everyone that's out there that's telling you the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash, the market's going to go down further, all this kind of stuff, I just want you to take a deep breath, literally go look at the charts and see where we're at compared to where we were before. And when I say that, I want you guys to actually go over here to the Dow. Go over here to the Dow and look over the last 5 years of where the Dow's at, okay? I get that everyone's kind of like, oh my gosh, we had this massive fallout. But look, dude, we are way above where we were in 2022. We're actually way above where we were in 2020. Look at this, dude. We're trading down here and we're so far up still, even after this massive sell-off right here. So anyone that's actually out there saying that we're going to have this massive, dip in the market, we've already taken that. We're already building this in right now. And to get back down to these levels, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Like, we're not going to see back down to 28,000 for the Dow. Like, that's just probably not going to happen. Again, we go back to we look at this. I mean, right here was the pandemic. Right here was the pandemic. Here's when Biden came in. We're seeing another little correction on the market right here. These again, we're going to go down to the previous high. We're almost to the previous high at 36 right here. We're at 38. So we could lose another, 2,000 on top of this, get down to 36, touch this top right here, and then bounce right back up, which is what I think probably could happen here. So there could probably be a little bit more blood in the streets here, but this is kind of where we're at right now. And this previous low went down to this previous high. Look at that. Previous low, previous high. This previous low is going to go to this previous high. So we're going to probably see a lot of that kind of stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you guys is to do not panic. Do not get crazy. Do not get go out there and start freaking out and selling all your positions and do that kind of stuff, because that's just crazy. Because realize that the U.S. Republicans have passed measures to move forward with the Trump's tax cuts. And this is going to most likely move forward here. And it says right here, the nonpartisan analysts say the measure, if enacted, would add about $5.7 trillion to the federal government's debt over the next decade. So that's kind of a bad thing when it comes to the inflation that we're trying to control here. But it says right here that Senate contends that the cost is $1.5 trillion. So they're actually saying it's not going to be that much. But again, right here, the measure also aims to raise the federal government ceiling to 5 million or 5 trillion. It says a move Congress has to make by summer before they default on the 36.6 trillion in debt. And again, this is another reason why Trump's really trying to push Jerome Powell into lowering the interest rate, is because we have to actually go out here and make sure we don't default on this $36 trillion. We actually have to go out there and basically refinance this. And if rates are extremely high, what do you think that actually does to the national debt? It makes it harder to even pay back. So really what this comes down to is the average taxpayer would see a 22% tax hike. A family of 4 making $80,000, the median income family would see about $1,695 tax increase. He said the 2017 cuts, Trump's signature legislative achievement in his first term, cut the top corporate tax to 21% from 35%, a move that is not set to expire. So this right here is where it's at, right? 35% down to 21%. Where do you think that money is going to go? It's going to go back into the market. It's going to go back into paying, buying up stocks and things like that, which is going to cause the markets to significantly rally back. This is the worst time you could actually get out of your positions. I'm telling you this right now. That I will not get out of my positions, because even if I go back and I look at, let's just take a look at Bitcoin right now. I mean, Bitcoin, we were buying this back at 20,000. We were buying a lot of cryptos back before November 5th when Trump came into office. And we could actually just go back and look. When in doubt, like I said, zoom out. This is November 5th. We're not even close to getting back down to 50 cents for XRP, right? Let's go back here. Here's another one, November 5th, right here. We're sitting at 60, 68, 67,000. We're sitting at 87. We're 27,000% up. But a lot of us were buying this back at 20,000. I definitely don't see Bitcoin getting back down to these levels. So there's no reason I'd ever sell my positions with these. And again, HBAR, another one, right? We go back to November 5th. Look at this. We were sitting down here roughly around 4 or 5 cents. Now we're sitting around 16 cents. So not even close to where we were at these levels right now. So things are still, even after all the sell-offs, all the things that are going wrong out there, everything that you could think of as the house is burning down. When you actually zoom out on this, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. And so I guess the message I want to deliver today is that people that are frantic out there, people that are freaking out, realize there's actually a lot of positive things coming. I get the tariffs are kind of the scary word out there, and it's scary for a lot of people. But just go look at 2016, 2017 when the tax cuts happen, and those tax cuts are going to come through this year. And when those tax cuts come through this year, the market's going to rally like we haven't seen before. And if we get 2 to 3 rate cuts like we're anticipating this year, it's going to come back even stronger. And so that's really what I wanted to focus on today, because there's just so much animosity. There's so much anger. There's so much butting of heads when it comes to what people feel Trump is doing wrong versus what people feel Trump is doing right. And I just want to say, look at it from both sides. Take some from the Trump administration side, take some from the more liberal side of things, and try to find common ground. Just realize you can't do anything about it, but just know that the markets will come back, and they'll probably come back strong. I'm almost not going to say 100% guaranteed, but it's more likely than not. I guess you could say that. So that's obviously something that's good to see as well. And this is the great thing you want to see about here when it comes to Bitcoin as well, is that when everyone's selling on the stock market, what was happening over in Bitcoin? Well, you had Grayscale, Fidelity, you had ARK Invest continue to add into their Bitcoin holdings. So you can just see over here, these were all the additions to Bitcoin. I mean, we're talking 46 million, 47 million, 46 million, 40. We have all these transactions on the blockchains of these companies out here buying up a ton of Bitcoin yesterday. So again, as much as we might have been losing it out on the stock market side, like what we saw right here with the stocks going down. I mean, this is a pretty big hit. Don't get me wrong. I mean, people lost trillions and trillions of dollars out here. But they were actually adding it to their Bitcoin shares. So this will be an interesting time, but I will not be selling my positions. And I hope that you guys actually find in you to do some research on this before you start making some crazy moves. And then you look back going, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that, because that's most likely what happens in these markets. And like I said, you have people like good old Jim Cramer here, who's going to come tell you to, sell your positions because there's going to be a major crash. They're fear mongering out here, causing the tariffs to be a bunch of fear. Just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. I'm done reiterating that. Just take a deep breath. And that's kind of the message I want to put out there today. And so, with all that, let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That's all I said. We're out. Peace out, everyone.